of introducing myself. I am Tigran, a full-time security researcher at Hexens, and going to be a triager at Remedy. Previously, I worked in a traditional finance firm, and a full-time martial artist. Also,
Wow. What kind of martial art? Like Kung Fu, Karate, Taekwondo?
No, I started karate at 6 years old, when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Then boxing, then kickboxing. Now I'm doing grappling.
Security, bro.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I've prepared a couple of code bases for us so that we can start to do a review. And I believe that there is no straight one methodology or one way to do a review. It can vary based on what you are doing. I mean, participating in the contest, bug hunting, and it can even depend on your level of experience. So for those just starting out, I think it might be more helpful to see how I initially conducted audits and compare it to my current way of doing, let's say. So I would show how I did in the beginning and how I'm doing it now.
Amazing.
I am now trying to share my screen.
Is the green button? There's a green button you can click to share your screen.
Now I'm gonna get your entire screen go live. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, great. I wanted to say that I haven't reached experience in context because I have always wanted to participate, but I couldn't manage as we have at least one scope to do and audit here at Hexens. But in most of times there are 2 or even 3 scopes. So every time I'm opening the scope, looking on it 1 or 2 hours and close. But anyway, I will try to give some valuable tips here as well. Hopefully, I will dive deeper into the contests in the near future. So, I opened here the Panoptic code base from Code Arena. As far as I remember, it is ending today. So I'm working in VSCode.
Can I ask
just cloning
something? Sorry?
Yeah, for sure.
Just want you to make whenever you're showing code, make sure to make your fonts a little bit bigger because people can be seeing these on all kinds of screens.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, for sure. So yeah, I'm working on VSCode. I am just cloning the repository and starting to review. Maybe we can start with the extensions that I'm using. So here is the code snap. Although I installed it but never used it, as I found a more simple way to do it. Let me show you here. I'm using it for Twitter posts. Just head over carbon.now.sh, and here you can choose the style you want your code to look like. For me, it is VS Code here. You can choose the programming language here. It is Solidity, and the background color for me it is yellow. Is my Twitter profile pic is yellow and black. Yeah, I'm always looking for details everywhere. So the next extension is DIFF. I haven't used it here as well. I'm just writing in the reports like this. Let me go to the MD file here. For example, here. I'm writing like this, And for example, minus minus x plus plus y. It will look like this.
Really cool.
Yeah, I really love the style it appears with this yellow and green and red. Somewhere it is red and yellow, somewhere red and green. And I am using it especially in the recommendations section of the report. So another is Explorer Bookmarks. It is a great helper for contests, especially. So it can be a tip for contests when you have a ton of contracts that are in scope and you want them to have it organized. It is a great solution because, after an hour of reviewing the code, you are forgetting what contract was in the scope, what were not in the scope, and need to go back to the MD or, for example, Code Arena page or Sherlock's page and find a list of contracts that are in the scope. So you can just use this bookmark. With this bookmark, let's say that these first 3 contracts are in the scope. You are adding this to the Explorer bookmark. But here in the bottom, you have Explorer bookmark, and it is showing here, yeah? So it keeps everything structured and accessible. You have all the contracts in the scope here, and you can find them easily when you want. Another one is Inline Bookmarks. I guess this is the most used extension by auditors. I haven't met someone who is not using this one, to be honest. This is for commenting and then finding your comments in the bookmarks. For example, here you can comment out something there. Then AUDIT. I'm using this note for the functions that I want to return back and review once again. I'm using the audit tags with those ones that have vulnerability, found vulnerability, and haven't written the report yet. And I am using audit issue, those which I reported already. Yeah. And then,
it's incredible. It's incredible how important bookmarking and commenting is for auditing, right? Like people are doing this all the time, and they have all kinds of different strategies to do it.
Yeah. It depends how you are going to use them. Yeah. So inline bookmarks are here. You can find them here by just clicking to them. And yeah, there are a lot of Solidity extensions. I'm using these ones. And yeah, Slither, let's talk about Slither a bit. It is, in my opinion, a great tool for beginners. When I was starting, I was using it like you're turning on static analysis. It is finding a lot of issues there, and you are checking them whether they are true or false. It's just a way to learn something well, in my opinion. But I remember when I was starting, I could install Slither on Windows after a second day of trying. And that was a real headache. On Mac, it is easier, but there is much more easier way to use the Slither. So you are going to the AuditWizard.io. Yeah, they are offering a more user-friendly experience, and you can just click on it and play with it. It is offering not only Slither, but Meteor as well. You can do vision graph code or interactive AST view. So yeah, I will advise to play with it at the beginning of the journey. I guess that covers the extensions part. All right, let's have this code base for example. And yeah, moving on, my approach as a beginner, it was to start reading the documentation, then get bored of it, and without finishing it, to go to the code base, and sometimes return back to docs. Shifting back and forth between it and the code and so on. So I was reading the code line by line. I was researching every line if it was not familiar to me. So let's say, for example, if the contract uses OpenZeppelin's initializable.sol, I went to the OZ, read about upgradable contracts, proxies, types of proxies, or if it is using ownable, SafeMap, or some AIPs, etc. So I was doing research and understanding all that stuff. That really helped me to become more knowledgeable about all this stuff. Because I believe as much you know about AIPs or ERCs or OZ contracts, libraries, you name it, it is easier to review code, and it can change the methodology of your audits.
Can I ask you something? How do you keep from feeling overwhelmed? Because some of those OZ libraries are really complicated. And so if you're gonna deal first with all the extensions and libraries, I guess your experience counts in a lot, right?
Yeah. I just making sure to have a good rest on the nights. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, make sure you are sleeping well enough and have a good rest. So in most of times I had my weekends not doing anything about reviewing codes, let's say, or reading something. So I in the weekdays I can read and do audits even 10, 11 hours. But I have, in most times, I have full my weekends to have a rest, to sleep well, to do sports, and etc. I guess it is the answer, of your question.
Yes, keep it with a mind healthy, do exercises. This is super important.
Yeah, it is very important because when you get overwhelmed, you will start to not understanding what you are reading, and it can be very bad. Yeah, after a week of reading, you can understand that you haven't done anything. So before diving into more detail, let's touch on testing as well. When I need a deeper understanding of a function, I often refer to tests, exploring various parameters. If there is some function I want to understand, for example, more about how it is working, I'm going to the test to check maybe they have written a test about that function, and playing with the parameters of that function in the tests. So this is written in Foundry. And let me open the terminal. So I have done for GD here. We can do for yield. Is working slowly. Then for test. Yeah, but to be honest, I'm not using the terminal of VSCode.
Okay.
There is no specific. There is no specific reason. Yeah, I just used to use the default terminal here on my laptop. I don't know. Maybe it is because this makes the code window smaller, or it is simply a habit. Don't know. And yeah, what it looks like, how I'm doing a review now, it is like, for example, let's go to the monthly scope here. And this scope we audited recently. By the way, the public report is available at our GitHub repo. You can have a look on it. So yeah, again, let's start with the documentations. Now, if the scope is new for me, for example, which is governance, and I'm unfamiliar with governance, I will start not with the docs. I would start to read about governance, best practices, and known vulnerabilities.
Awesome.
Then, to be honest, you need to do a bit of researching before starting. Let's call it preparing for an audit. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, and to be honest, I'm now starting with the reviewing code base first, not reading the documentations. After reading all the functions and understanding how is working each of them, then after I am going to the docs. So I move to docs to cross-reference functions and their intended design, ensuring they align. Here is the thing. Sometimes, there can be functions that are working correctly, yeah, but not working as they were designed. So to find these types of inconsistencies, I'm reading the docs parallel with all the functions in the scope. So that's how I'm reading the documentations most of the times. Yeah.
So first we start by doing some recon, reading about what you're going to be on.
Yeah.
And then after auditing, you drop into the documentation. And then after that, into the
No. Yeah, but now I am starting from the code review and then to the documentation.
I see. Awesome.
And then back to the code, and I'm doing it parallel, yeah. But firstly, yeah, I'm starting with the code, not with the docs. Yeah, and now from philosophy to the practical part. Now my auditing style, let's say, is looking like jumping from function to function. For instance, here we have we know that this is a staging protocol, and I know that there is a known issue with withdrawal credentials when depositing in the beacon chain. I will jump there and check if they handle this correctly. So I'm searching here withdrawal credentials. I guess this is the function. Yeah, this is the function which is calling the deposit function from the beacon chain, and I will jump here and check if they handled this part correctly. And I think I'm writing here. Sorry. After knowing that there is an issue and the issue is not covered here, after doing the research, about it, and writing a report about this, I'm marking audit issue in Inline Bookmarks, as I said. and continuing to audit. So let me show the write-up of this issue here, and we can speak about it a bit more in detail. So I want to show from our audit report. Yeah, it is smart contract security review.
Very nice to
Okay, why I want to show. Oh, thank you. So why I want to show you this, because I like to send here in the chat some links to understand it deeply and to read about it more. Yeah. So this is the issue. Malicious validator can steal user funds by front-running withdrawal credentials. The issue is about that if a malicious validator. Let's start with the deposit function. Yeah, when you call the deposit function, you're giving them parameters and parameters like pub key and withdrawal credentials. And malicious validator can give right pub key, but not right wrong withdrawal credentials. So his own withdrawal credentials, and to get the all rewards from staking to his own wallet. Yeah, let's say. This is this issue was found on Lido, so they have I need to download it for. So let's open it here. Yeah, this is the article about that issue, technical details here, possible mitigations. Can I send it to the chat?
Yes, if you click on this small, there's a chat thing there you see with the 13 number on your top left or top right, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Just click in there and paste it. Thank you.
Right, Bill. So yeah, and I found an example here on the Terscan of this issue as well. Let me send this one as well here, so you can have a look on it. And yes, if you plan to do a bug hunting, this screen will be the screen that you will see in most of the cases. And if there are a lot of contracts and you need to audit, for example, me, I will use here one of these options, mainly this block scan IDE. It will open the contracts in the block scan IDE. But in case if I'm hunting for a specific bug and the code base is not big, I am reading straight from here, just clicking the full screen button here and reading from here. And we can try to find that withdrawal credentials here as well. Yeah, deposit validators of operator. It is the function which is. This is the function, a deposit validator, which is calling the deposit of Bitcoin chain. And I have prepared another example code base. I am sorry. Is it the I'm reading the code here and noticing that it is using permit type hash. So it is using ERC20 permit, and there is a known issue about the permit, that signature replay attack. But I see that they imported AIP 712.salt from cryptography as well. It means that most probably they haven't that issue here, but I still will investigate further to ensure no issues persist here. So I will find the permit function. Here it is. And I noticed that they have this hash type data v4 function, which is coming from IP 712. And yeah, this in turn is solving that issue. So let me show the newer versions of here, ERC20 permit. That's solved. And so yeah, we can notice that this hash type data v4 is from the newer version of ERC20 permit, which solved this issue. So yeah, what is the issue? Let's speak about it. So the issue is about that some protocols taking the chain ID and fixing them in the constructor at the time of deployment. Then if there is a hard fork, the chain ID cannot be updated yet. And signatures may be replayed across both versions of the chain. And this hash type v4 function checks the chain ID in real time. So it, yeah, basically covered the issue. So after this, I am all returning back to the top of the contract and continuing my reviewing line by line, function by function, doing my notes and so on. After, at the end, I'm checking whether all the parts here are needed. If there are some imports or events or errors that are not used in the contract, I'm reporting that as well as the informational issues. Yeah, and finishing the reviewing. And yeah, the easiest way to check this, you can simply comment with command and slash this import and try to compile the contract. If it is compiled, then the import is really redundant. But if not, it means that the import is not redundant. You can do it with the errors as well. So in this, these informational issues, I am looking on them at the end of reviewing and finishing the review. In conclusion, I would advise focusing on understanding EVM and solidity deeply rather than turning strictly to auditing methodologies, because a deeper understanding will naturally influence your audit style. I believe as much you know about all that stuff, as much will be that the jumps from function to function. And in my opinion, it is not just about measuring a set of tools, or following a fixed set of steps or step-by-step things. I guess it's all about continuous learning and adaptation. So I would like to finish with this example here. And so we all know that view or pure functions in Solidity do not require transactions to be executed on the blockchain. Yeah, and as a result, they do not consume any gas. Yeah. So let me go to the remix. Recently, with my co-workers, we decided to write a contract with pure and view functions with is here evidence, with 8 loops inside each other, and wanted to give a big call data. And wanted to give a big call data here as a function parameter and see what would happen. So let us do it here as well. So it is compiled. We can go to the MetaMask. Let me check it is in the code. Yeah. So let's deploy this contract. Great, we have our contract here deployed. Let's keep this 0, 1, variant, or maybe to be in both of the functions. So calling the pure2 function, which is the pure function, it is returning out of gas. The same for the new function. So they both revert without a gas error. But wait, we know that they are not using gas, yeah? So why is this happening? So I don't want to say more about it here. I guess most of the listeners know the answer, but I would advise those who don't know to research and find the answer, because if you just hear about something you can easily forget about, let's say after a few months, but when you are trying to find an answer, doing research or diving deeper, you will never forget about that. So it's like a little homework, let's say.
Alpha, like it's very alpha.
We're just starting here, and after finding the answer of this, they will never forget about this. And thank you again for the opportunity to share my experience.
Really good
here.
Let me see if the community has a few questions for you. We still have some time?
For sure. For sure.
Awesome. So guys, feel free to drop your questions. I'm going to drop mine, and I'm going to also invite everybody to speak. If you guys want to open your mics and make questions, feel free to do it, okay? Bro, first question for me is, okay, so we're talking about deeply learning Solidity, understanding the EVM, and trying to compound that to Solidity, to auditing, so it can be the most effective. But still, how do we come up with novel research? How do we come up with 0 days? Because just like what you're doing right now, trying a bunch of different for loops and the call data manipulation to see what's happening. How do you guys come up with that? Because we need to do a lot more of that in the space,
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Let me rephrase that. So how do you guys usually come up with research? So what areas to research on, what possible vulnerabilities you're gonna find?
With the research,
Yes.
It is basically when you have the code for the auditing or reviewing, you started to research. Firstly, what is it about? It is AMM, let's say. It is governance. It is staking. Yeah, it is zero knowledge. ZK things. Yeah, you just start from there and go deeply by function analysis. So mainly every concept has its own functions, which they are implementing. And you can, and there are a lot of articles in the space. AuditWizard can help you to find the known or the vulnerabilities people found before you. Yeah.
Awesome. One more question, bro. What kind of vulnerabilities you find very often?
I guess I cannot say that there is some. Yeah, the rounding is maybe the more of that stuff. Yeah, because even recently I found a rounding error which causes the critical issue because it was very simple. There were equation from the traditional finances, but maybe developers forgot that they are writing on solidity, and they forgot about rounding issues, and all the calculations were working wrong. So the project will always give more rewards than it intended to do.
There's any kind of vulnerability or hack that really surprised you that you find like, whoa, so this can happen?
Well, this last Chimera attack was really very interesting for me. Yeah.
Nice, that's very nice. Anyone in the community has questions? Okay, I guess they're shy today and everyone understood everything. Thank you so much, Tigran, for taking your time and being here today, okay, man?
Thank you for having me here. It was a really pleasure. Thank you all. Thank you, Miss.
No problem, bro. Whenever you need, we're here, and see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Cool. Goodbye.